W.F. Howes presents an unabridged recording of The Messenger of Measham Hall by Anna Abney, narrated by Chris Devon. Part 1. Boy. Chapter 1. Derbyshire, November 1678. Concealed by ferns, Nicholas sat watching the narrow path below. He was a good hunter, and did not mind waiting. Having learnt to be both patient and stealthy, he was able to observe close up the birds, deer, weasels, voles, squirrels, and foxes that inhabited the woodland. He never grew bored, not with these forest creatures for entertainment. Always happier outdoors than in, he loved especially the mossy intricacy of the forest, with its twisted, interlocking branches and hidden dells. This was a better way to spend his time than parsing Latin epigrams under the critical eye of his cousin, Father Matthew. He took a wild plum from the little store that he'd placed in among the mushrooms in his basket. It was fat and sweet, bursting pleasantly in his mouth to release its juices. Hopefully Matthew wouldn't notice his black fingernails and purple-stained palms. Standing up slowly, he shook out his legs. He would go down to the stream to wash his hands. It would mean turning his back on the path, but he'd hear if anyone approached. A branch snapped. He dropped, down on his heels. A couple made their way hesitantly down the path. Nicholas jumped down before them and introduced himself with a bow. He loved these important errands, or missions as Matthew called them, imagining himself as a sort of latter-day Robin Hood, only he was bringing spiritual succour to the people. On this occasion, he had been sent out to guide the Caldwells back to Measham Hall for the baptism of their baby. The young woman, who carried the infant in her arms, yelped with fright, but the man doffed his hat and gave the customary greeting. "Good morning, young master. What do you be doing out so early on this Sabbath day?" "I have been gathering toad's bread." Nicholas held out his basket of mushrooms. "Have you indeed? We too come in search of bread and water. Perhaps you might lead us to them?" "I know of someone who can provide what you seek," Nicholas responded, "especially for this holy day." The couple smiled, the woman jiggling the grizzling baby on her hip. She was very pretty. Her brown eyes were fringed with long black lashes, and her plump lips were the colour of raspberries. The only women at Measham were Nicholas's former nursemaid, Abigail, who now helped in the kitchens and with the laundry, and Lady Jane, who was a frequent guest, but usually came alone.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?